Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and restless nail biter. Audra's cunning plot against Kyle is working, but spoiler, may blow it all up. While we loathe the optics of Audra agreeing to do Victor's dirty work when it comes to Kyle, it's clear why he reached out to her. She knows her stuff, and we're not talking about the art of seduction, at least not literally. Yes, her cunning plan to do in Kyle's relationship has become clear, and is well on its way to success. Unless a certain someone blows it all up, and if so, it's not only her new company, the Bronte, that's at stake, but her relationship with Nate as well. It's no wonder Audra agreed to Victor's terms. While initially it appeared as though she might have to seduce Kyle into a compromising situation to torpedo his romance with Claire, it turns out she knew all along that she'd have to do nothing of the sort. All Audra has to do to get herself a brand spanking new company is manipulate the Abbott, and so far, she's looking like a master. Without even having received a dime of funding for her new startup, Audra has Kyle fully convinced of its existence. Not only that, but the mere mention of a revolutionary new super product sent him into a tailspin. Knowing her ex-lover and colleague as well as she does, Audra understood the assignment. All she had to do was push the right buttons, and he'd implode his own relationship without her having to lift a finger. Indeed, from the moment Audra teased her super product, Kyle did exactly what she must have realized he would. First, he sent up a panicked flare with Jack and Diane over at Jabot, and even suggested that he could try to steal the plans for the revolutionary new cosmetic concoction, proving he's learned exactly nothing from his experiences. Next, he informed his girlfriend that he would have to spend a lot more time with ex-lover in order to find out what she's up to. Talk about playing right into Audra's hands. There's no company or super product, yet Audra brilliantly manipulated Kyle into focusing on her and not Claire, thus jeopardizing his relationship, given that his girlfriend is not going to be on board with any of this, and will get more fed up with it the more he becomes consumed by it. Audra clearly realized there was more than one way to entice the Abbott, and is well on her way to successfully completing Victor's assignment already. Unfortunately, someone with too much time on their hands and an avid interest in Audra might prove to be a stumbling block. Holden witnessed her working her magic on Kyle in the coffee house and questioned her about it after the fact. Audra dodged his questions, which had the opposite effect she'd hoped. Rather than getting him to back off, her evasiveness only served to pique his interest. Young and restless spoilers indicate that Holden will quiz Kyle about his relationship with Audra, which means that, whether out of jealousy or simple curiosity, Audra's admirer from LA could well throw a monkey wrench into her operation. Worse, if Holden gets the wrong idea about what Audra's up to with Kyle and comes to suspect that they're hooking up, he could use the information to break up her and Nate, given that their solid relationship has been a major hurdle for him in trying to reconnect with her. So, not only is Audra's new company, the Bronte, at risk with Holden's interference, but also her relationship with her boyfriend and, possibly by extension, the mother-daughter closeness she's established with Amy. Damien's right-hand man could seriously blow things up for Audra and leave a big, soapy mess in his wake. If there's one thing the young and the restless never skimps on, it's a deliciously layered game of cat and mouse, and right now, Audra Charles is prowling the halls of Genoa City like a queen with her claws out, ready to pounce. Her target? None other than Kyle Abbott, the scorned heir, jilted husband, and walking vulnerability cocktail who may just be playing right into her hands. But as with all well-laid soap plans, there's always a wild card, and in this case, it comes in the form of someone who knows exactly what Audra's up to. The question is, will they step in before it's too late, or wait until Kyle's already in too deep? Let's dive into this juicy saga of corporate seduction, revenge, and the ticking time bomb that could detonate it all. Audra 101, a woman with a mission. From the moment Audra Charles swept into Genoa City with her smirking confidence and closet full of power suits, it was clear she was no ordinary executive. She's part strategist, part seductress, and 100% opportunist. Whether she's whispering in the ears of power players or sliding into a bed that doubles as a battleground, Audra knows how to get what she wants. And lately, what she wants is Kyle Abbott. Not romantically, mind you, though she's not above using chemistry as currency. No, this is about control, about leverage, about putting Kyle exactly where she wants him, under her thumb and outside his comfort zone. Because Kyle isn't just Diane and Jack's golden boy, he's also a man at a crossroads. Divorced, disillusioned, and desperate to reassert his value, he's exactly the kind of vulnerable that Audra thrives on. The seduction of power and the power of seduction. Audra's strategy isn't about hearts and flowers. It's about ego, ambition, and knowing Kyle better than he knows himself. She flatters him, challenges him, and lets him think he's calling the shots, when in reality, she's choreographing the entire dance. She knows how to dangle opportunity just close enough that Kyle feels like he's earning it. The private meetings, the high-level decisions, the little moments of accidental intimacy that hint at a rekindling of the spark they once shared. And Kyle, blinded by pride and still smarting from Summer's betrayal, is eating it up. But here's the kicker. Audra's not doing this for Kyle's benefit. She's doing it for herself, and for the person who's truly pulling her strings. Enter the puppet master. Yes, Audra's working along Khan, but she's not the only one with skin in this game. In a twist that has fans buzzing, it's been heavily hinted, if not outright confirmed, that Audra's allegiance isn't purely to herself. Some believe it's Victor Newman, pulling levers behind the curtain and using Audra as his corporate assassin to dismantle the Abbotts' hold on Jabot from within. Others whisper that she's still tied to Tucker McCall, whose own grudge against the Abbotts is as personal as it is professional. Either way, one thing is certain. Audra isn't improvising. She's executing a plan, and Kyle is only beginning to realize that he's the mark, not the partner. This spoiler in the room. Who's about to blow the whistle? Here's where it gets twisty. As much as Audra is playing her game to perfection, the walls are starting to close in, and that's thanks to one person who's been watching everything unfold. So who is the spoiler in Audra's plot? Could it be Summer, still smarting from Kyle's betrayal and now more suspicious of Audra than ever? If there's one thing Summer knows, it's Kyle's blind spots, and Audra ranks high on the list. She's been quietly circling the situation, and you just know she's itching for a takedown. Or maybe it's Jack, who has learned the hard way that trusting the wrong woman can cost him everything. He's got his eye on Audra, and if he smells even a whiff of disloyalty, especially where Kyle is concerned, there'll be hell to pay. But let's not count out Diane, who's fiercely protective of her son and still navigating her uneasy truce with Audra. She may have buried her scheming past, but her instincts are sharper than ever. Then again, could the spoiler be someone completely unexpected, like Nate, who knows firsthand how quickly alliances can turn dangerous, and may have his own reasons to expose Audra? The stakes, Kyle's downward spiral. As Audra gains more control, Kyle risks losing everything. He's already estranged from Summer, clashing with his father, and making increasingly reckless choices. If Audra's plot succeeds, he could be left with no allies, no company, and no identity beyond being a pawn in someone else's game. And make no mistake, Audra's ultimate goal isn't just to take down Kyle. It's to position herself as the queenmaker in a corporate chess match where loyalty is fluid and betrayal is just good business. But if spoiler blows it all up, then what? Does Kyle finally wake up to the manipulation? Does he double down and go darker? Or does he flip the script on Audra and beat her at her own game? A powder keg waiting to explode. Right now, the story is at its most explosive. Audra's secrets are piling up. Kyle's arrogance is becoming a liability. And, spoiler, is creeping closer to the truth, ready to pull the trigger and send everything up in flames. When that moment comes, and it will, we're in for fireworks. Because Audra Charles may be a master manipulator, but even she can't plan for every contingency, especially when emotions, vendettas, and last-minute heroics enter the picture. The bigger picture. Why this story works. This isn't just a story about a seduction plot gone wrong. It's about trust, ego, ambition, and the devastating cost of underestimating someone. Kyle, for all his charm, has spent much of his adult life skating beyond privilege. Now, he's learning the hard way that the business world and the bedroom aren't safe havens anymore. Audra, meanwhile, is evolving into one of the most fascinating wild cards in Genoa City. She's not just a villain. She's a woman who's been underestimated too many times, and who's now using that underestimation as her greatest weapon. But the beauty of this storyline lies in its balance. There's no clear hero, no cartoonish villain, just flawed people making bold moves in a game where the rules keep changing. Coming up next, the moment of truth. In the weeks ahead, expect a series of bombshells that could reset the board entirely. A confrontation that exposes Audra's double-dealing. A moment of clarity for Kyle that forces him to choose between redemption and revenge. A major character, possibly spoiler, putting it all on the line to stop the train before it crashes. And with whispers of corporate takeovers, long-lost connections, and shifting loyalties, this storyline is only getting juicier.